I believe in slow radio, that to change the world we can't be sightseers skimming by on a tour bus. So Northern Spirit radio programs are 55 minutes long. But I also know that your time is valuable and you have many passions and demands. So I've prepared for you some tidbits, which I hope will tempt you to dive into this week's Northern Spirit radio programs. Our flagship show is Spirit in Action, and this week we welcome the author of a new book, a quick transformational read called Beyond the Two-State Solution. Our guest is Jonathan Kuttab, a Palestinian lawyer, co-founder of a number of organizations, including Nonviolence International. I asked Jonathan about the influences that got him to his work for peace and justice in the Middle East, including his time as a student at Messiah College of the Brethren in Christ Church. Were you a peace person before that, or did that influence you in that direction?
Well, they certainly influenced me in that direction. Very few people know, but the vast majority of Palestinian Christians of all denominations tend to be pacifist. We read the Bible and we understand Jesus's teaching. We're supposed to love our enemy. We're supposed to turn the other cheek. And in fact, we're puzzled that that the majority of Christians worldwide throughout history have sort of found a way to justify war and violence. But for most Palestinian Christians, I would say pacifism is the default position. If you're a Christian, you're supposed to love your enemies. You're supposed to turn the other cheek. Well, I mean, how could you possibly not be a pacifist?
I asked Jonathan about the thinking behind his alternative to the two-state solution for Israel and Palestine. So he spelled out the conflicted thinking both sides are caught in, and he talked about the way out of conflict and into peace.
Because you see, that is also part of the Zionist imperative. If you're going to create a Jewish state that's of the Jews, for the Jews, by the Jews, then you want as many Jews to come in as you can, and you want as many non-Jews to be pushed out or kept out as you can. Because, again, this is a fight over demography and a fight over land. What I try to do in this booklet is to try and remove that demographic threat. And I do that by a very strange exercise, shall we say this, that I developed together with a Jewish friend. And that is, you ask both sides, what do you really want? What is it that you absolutely need? Why do you want a Jewish state? Why do I want an Arab state? Why do we think that a nation state fulfills our needs? What are our needs? Can we list them? And you list them. I said, now, can we really meet those needs in a state that is not exclusivist? In a state that combines, that addresses the needs of both parties? And if we can, then maybe we can abandon or at least radically change our ideologies to accommodate each other. Can I think of a Palestine that is not exclusively Arab, but that's both Arab and Jewish? And can Zionism live with a state that is not exclusively Jewish, but that's Jewish and Arab? Can this state accommodate your needs without denying the needs of the other? And I think we can. This is the whole premise of this book. I had one rabbi, a Zionist, centrist, he's not a leftist or anything. And I once asked him, why do you want a Jewish state? Tell me. Well, you can't make a state Jewish. I mean, you can't circumcise a state. Well, what makes a Jewish state? What is it that you want? And he thought and he said, well, I want a state where any Jew, anytime, no questions asked, can go and live and be able to defend himself. And I said, well, maybe I can do you one better. Maybe I can give you a state where any Jew, anytime, no questions asked, can go and live where he doesn't need to defend himself because nobody's out to get him.
Wow, what a plus.
And he says, oh, and I never thought of that. Because, see, I understand why the Zionist movement says we want a Jewish state. Because they thought that you can't trust anybody. We have to be in charge. And I say, okay, maybe you need a place where you can go for refuge from anti-Semitism and from persecution, from hatred. But doesn't have to be exclusively yours. You don't have to kick everybody else out. You can live with people who accept the fact that this is a special place for you as Jews, but it's also a special place for them as Arabs. And that's how the conversation started. And that's what we're talking about in this little booklet.
The Full Spirit in Action interview with Jonathan Kuttab about Beyond the Two-State Solution for December 12th, 2020 is on our northernspiritradio.org website and all the places our podcast is carried. Listen, go deep, and let's make the world better together.